Okay, we're joined in the PornCrush studio this afternoon by Ariel Demure. I think not just in my opinion, but everyone's opinion, one of the top overall talents in the adult industry. Obviously in the trans genre, but not just there. Just I think one of the top people right now in porn. And Ariel, thank you for joining us. You have got quite a project that's created a little bit of buzz on Twitter. A big scene coming out that was your idea that you produced. Just kind of fill everyone in on what's going on.
Yeah, I've always worn many hats, and I wanted to do this project for a litany of reasons, but ultimately, I just think it's important to showcase the variety of talent and what they're capable of. So I put together this scene. I made all the costumes. I co wrote the script with a really good friend of mine, Charlotte Rickard. We got our team together. I'm very fortunate to have a really awesome management company that assists me with a lot of different things because it's it's hard, it's hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting all your ducks in a row. But yeah, I thought it was time that something like this be made because I have a lot of respect for where porn has come, like from
Hmm.
where it started, its origins, and what it used to be like. And God bless, the times that we're in, and how fortunate we are to have the autonomy we have. But I think it's really cool to incorporate art into porn, to make it more than just what's easy to sell, what's marketable. Do something that's
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Let me ask you, Ariel. I don't know what you want to reveal at this point because the scene's not out yet. But what can you tell us specifically about the scene in terms of the theme and the
Sure.
cast of
Well, I think the more we talk about it, the better. I'm not
yeah.
trying to hold a whole lot back. It's called Gorgons and Goddesses, and it's an analogy, it's a metaphor for how we are so fortunate as, individuals to have the autonomy that we have now to
Hmm.
be able to be our own bosses and to create a future for ourselves. Sorry, my dog wants
You're
to be a
good.
part of the party. Um, so I wanted to sort of play with the concept of that the industry's changing and that's okay. And some people are going to like the way that it used to be, and that's cool too. There's enough room for everybody, and it's time we embrace that change and
Right.
just move forward as opposed to pushing back.
Absolutely. Ariel, I'm going to pause real quick before we
Yeah.
go any further. Can you see your picture? I can edit this video. Can you see
Yeah.
your picture?
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. For some reason, you're not visible to me, but as long as you're on there, good. Um, okay. Back to rolling again. Uh, Hell of a concept without question. Is it 12 people now that you've got in
So
this?
it is a total of, I believe, 11 girls in the orgy. I don't know of any other production thus far that has had 11 trans girls all together in one sex scene. We were very fortunate to get Gia Gunn on board to
Mm-hmm.
lend us her expert acting and comedic talents.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had the privilege of being joined by Michael Boston and Austin
Oh,
Spears for some cameo appearances as well. But yeah, it's 11 girl. Yeah, that's right, right?
right.
Eight
Well, you
plus
mentioned
three.
you mentioned Gia Gunn, obviously a legend. I mean, from the pictures I've seen, I mean, you've really, gone after the top names. Who else can you say is in
Oh,
this?
I know all of them. Okay, so we have Casey K, Chloe Key, Foxy. We have Izzy Wild, Emma Rose, Brittany Cade, Ava Maxim, Leilani Lee, which we were very excited about
Yeah.
because she's relatively new to the industry and we've become kind of fast friends. She has this just energy about her. She's so magnetic and so humble and so sweet and so genuine. It's so rare that, you meet people like that in the industry, and it's just apparent right off the bat, like,
Yeah.
you're normal. She's
Yeah.
like a good person. And I was really excited that we got to have her on board. The reason why I chose this cast, oh, and then of course we also have my sisters, my Gorgons, Jade Venus and Tori Easton.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fortunate enough to be a part of a project called Muses last year with
Mhm.
Adult Time,
Yeah.
created by Bree Mills, and it sort of got my brain going because this term doll gets thrown around a lot in
Hmm.
the trans community, and I think it's funny. I literally played a Barbie for Anna Fox's birthday orgy,
Oh,
and
you did.
that or Barbie orgy. I don't think that was for her birthday. It wasn't for her birthday. I just went to her birthday the other day, but it was just ironic because I've never felt like a doll. I never really played with dolls. I've never, identified with that. So I think it's awesome for everybody else that makes sense to them, and it feels right. But I've never felt like a doll, and I've never
Hmm.
felt like a goddess. I never. Uh, Men love calling us fucking goddesses, and I don't ascribe to that mindset either. I'm an artist, but I wouldn't say
Hmm.
a goddess. So
Right.
me, Tori, and Jade were doing as we do and cackling and doing it, whatever. And I said, if they're the dolls, then we're the Gorgons. If they're
Oh,
goddesses, we're Gorgons.
yeah.
And we've just kind of run with that over the past couple of years. And then this thought occurred to us while we were hanging out. We do kind of like a viewing party together. Every time one of our scenes comes out, we get together and we watch it and laugh and
Hmm.
enjoy
Hmm.
it for what it is. And
Hmm.
I don't remember who brought it up, but they were like, we should do something for us where we're the Gorgons.
Hmm.
And then I was like, well, if we do it for like my birthday, that would work because it gives me enough time to like put everything together, and I can make costumes for it, and it'll deck us out. And
Yeah.
then we remembered the whole Muses thing that happened, and
Hmm.
they never got all 9 of the girls who shot Muses scenes together for like a final big thing because it's a
Yeah.
very emotionally, physically, and financially taxing endeavor to get that many girls together. But I know, not to toot my own horn, but I know I get along with everybody that I've met thus far, performer wise in the industry. They all know I'm, I'm here for the check and I want to have a good time and I want to go
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So I thought, I could get all 9 of them together. I could do that. And then it was just kind of, it grew from there and it became this big old thing.
Wow. Wow. And I know too, I mean, you're so skilled with, attire. I mean, you're the things you wear to industry events. You're always one of the best dressed, if not the best dressed. I'm sure. So you had a big say and a big part of the costumes as well
Oh, I
in
made
this.
them.
You made
Yeah,
them.
I
Wow.
made all the costumes. Everybody, I was very fortunate in that I think because, once again, I don't view anyone in this industry as my competition. When I go to an award show, I'm not there to win. I'm there to show people that I look pretty, get some
Hmm.
pictures so when I'm old and fat, I have something really awesome to look back at. And it's on Getty.
Hmm.
So they're Getty images, you get some real solid photographs that are going to be on the internet forever.
Yeah.
And I want to have fun, I don't.
Mhm.
How often do you get to go out and dress all fancy and just have a good time? It's so seldom. So
Yeah.
I think that sort of permeates in my onset,
Right.
decorum. And every
Yeah.
time I've interacted with a girl, on or off camera, they get that, I'm not trying to outshine you. I'm not trying to compete with you. I just want to get the shot and have a good time as much as we can.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I was fortunate in that when I presented everyone with the concept, it was really easy. Everyone just said, okay, because each of the 9 muses has a name, a personality type,
Hmm.
and very specific qualities that go along with her, from outfit to the kind of crown she wore on her head.
Yeah.
And everyone was just really cool about, okay, yeah, let's do it. They picked out their color. I went to the fashion district. I got to sewing, and 3 months later, we all had some fucking badass costumes, and
Oh
that was
gosh.
great. But we only wear them for a third of the
Right.
scene. We
Right.
there was a
Y-
solid, good portion of fucking. So you
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
deal with too much narrative if that's not your cup of tea.
Right. You know, I can tell from the photos, along with the costumes, just the whole setup looks very, very high end. Who did you have shooting it for you and kind of arranging
So we
all
were
that kind
also
of stuff?
very lucky to get my friend Michael Vegas on board to direct.
Hmm.
We had the very talented efforts of my management company to helm the ship, as it were, and we had Michael's team, so Pup, and we had that's their name. Pup is one of the camera operators, and
Hmm.
we had our team, so Morgan Cleary and Audrey and. It was a
Wow.
relatively small crew,
Hmm.
honestly, and it
Hmm.
was a really ambitious day. It was something that we probably should have spread out over a span of 3 days. That's typically what would have been done for something of this scale. But I knew with the strength of my team, the professionalism of the girls, the capacity of what all of them are capable of,
Hmm.
and my bitchiness, that we would be able to stay on schedule.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and we did it. We did what should have been a 3-day shoot in a span of, I think, like 8 hours.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And
and we all got home for dinner. No
where
one
did you
had to
shoot?
stay late. Yeah, we just got out of there. It was amazing what
Where did
time
you
management
shoot?
and planning can do. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
How
Amazing.
weird to have a well planned and organized team and
Hmm.
make sure everyone goes home on time. Who'd have thunk it was possible?
Doesn't happen enough. Where did you shoot the scene, Ariel?
We were also very lucky to have Kelly Holland on board, and we shot it at the animal rescue that she has in Chatsworth. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful air property. It's been used for decades and decades in the industry. Kelly Holland is a veteran herself, and
Yeah.
I just adore her as a human. She when she found out that it was me, and it was this big whole like Greek goddess themed endeavor,
Mhm.
she was really excited about it too. It
Yeah.
was it was very much just kismet. If it's meant to
Mhm.
be, it'll be, and it turned out insane. We're currently in the process of getting the final edits done now. I flew out to Vegas, where my team is based, and assisted in the editing process to make sure like everyone's on-screen performance really is at its
Mhm.
peak,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious. It's gonna be so good. We're so excited.
Yeah. When you're shooting, when there's that many people in a scene, when it comes to the sex, do you talk about,
Oh yeah, we did a
you
lot
plan it
of.
out?
Oh yeah, we clarified. We had everyone raise hands. Okay, who's topping? Okay, who's bottoming? Okay,
Hmm.
who can come? And like we made sure we had every single person, which also did not take more than 5-10 minutes. A
Hmm.
little communication. Everyone gets a solid little moment. Okay, don't put your finger in my butt. Okay, da da da. Da.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do this, I'm just gonna gently tap you on the knee a couple times, and then that means
Right.
like cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Simple. Just keep it
Right.
pumping. We don't need to make it this big lugubrious experience to make
Hmm.
sure everyone feels all comfy cozy. This is porn. We're supposed to be
Right.
organic and kind of just feel it out, and what feels right, just run with that shit. Just do it. And we're all adults.
Right.
We have the ability to speak up for ourselves and say, like, oh, I definitely want to make sure that X, Y, and Z. And it was really easy. And the sex scene itself, I've shot a
Hmm.
couple orgies at this point. It
Hmm.
was still, like, by far one of the easiest ones to shoot, because we all were just like so on the same page, so simpatico. We had already done that whole long day of acting and pictures. There's so many pictures, so much
Hmm.
different like BTS stuff that we're going to be releasing over the next month. And
Yeah.
uh, we were all like ready. we needed to fuck. It
Yeah.
was time.
Oh,
So
fuck.
it just was as good as it could have been. It was
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah.
And what was great too is that we were fortunate enough that we had a even mix of like tops and bottoms. So it was very simple to just go and say, okay, you're fucking her, you're fucking her,
Mhm.
you're fucking her, and
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
boom, it just happened and it was fabulous.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just going to be incredible. I've got to think too. I mean, because you're someone that really grinds. I mean, you shoot a lot of scenes for all the top companies. You're putting your work in. I got to think sometimes that can be a little bit cumbersome after a while. And I would think about taking on a project like this would be really rejuvenating and refreshing, and
A
for you.
hundred percent. As an artist, I've never identified as anything more than an artist. I've always dabbled in different things throughout my life, but I need to have a diverse spectrum of ways to express myself. So
Hmm.
that's honestly why I got back into sex work. I was a makeup artist for so many years that I was just getting burnt out of it. It was my one thing that I was doing, and there wasn't like a whole variety of ways for me to really diversify it.
Hmm.
With porn, there is literally so much that I know I have the capacity to do now.
Hmm.
Historically, I just feel like it's been such a boys' club and it's been so hard to really penetrate, pardon the expression, the industry anything more than just performing.
Hmm.
And to be 100% honest, it wasn't that hard. We
Right.
just you just do it. You have to
Got
be
to do it.
fortunate enough to have the connections and build the trust with people so they can and trust you with their connections. Jim Powers was honestly really instrumental for a lot of this endeavor, even though he has no like credit for it. He really deserves a lot of it because he got me in touch with the fucking the DVD the distributor. He got me in
Hmm.
touch with the person who's doing our cover art, Bill Sampson. He got me in touch with the person who's doing the authoring and the editing of the DVD, which I wasn't even aware was a thing.
Wow.
And he really just kind of it's simple, just bum 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 bum,
Yeah.
and he broke it down in the simplest way so I could understand it as someone coming from the outside. And honestly, it's if you want to do it, just do it.
Hmm.
Just I've met so many people who are like, "Oh, I want to get into porn. I want to do porn." Then fucking do it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's as simple
learn
as
from your
that.
mistakes and figure stuff out, and yeah, exactly. Just figure it out on the way.
Yeah, just figure it out. No
Yeah.
one knows what they're doing.
Right.
Everyone's just faking it. So just, fake it a little
Yeah.
harder.
You and I have had some conversations here in recent months about kind of how porn is changing and just the
Yeah.
whole landscape. And I know you have some thoughts on what the industry may look like in a year or two from now. And maybe some of this project was inspired by what you see happening. Can you kind of just expand on that? Um,
So, I'm not a fortune teller, and I also like to give credit where credit is due. I'm not one of those people who projects what's going to be popular in the years to come. When I first started, I wanted to shoot with more cis women, and I asked to
mhm.
shoot with more cis women, and they said, no, it doesn't sell.
Mm,
6 months later, that's all I was doing. All I was shooting was cis women. Didn't I? For the past year, I've worked with probably like three dudes.
yeah.
Up until like last week, I got fucking dick down this month. But in any event, um, you just kind of have to roll with it. And I think that if we put a little bit more time into looking at porn from a almost mathematical standpoint, sort
Hmm.
of more analytical as opposed to just here's what's selling right now, let's
Hmm.
just grind onto this, we would have a much more secure concept as to what to expect. I
Hmm.
don't really know. I can't speak towards things I don't know, but I don't feel like we're really investing in projecting for the future like a fucking weather forecaster would for the weather
Hmm.
meteorologist. You have a concept of what the weather is going to be, but you never really know. I don't feel that so much in porn. I just feel like, and maybe it's because they don't share it with performers, that information, but
Mhm.
goddamn, I've done a lot of fucking my stepsister, fucking my stepdad, fucking my
Yeah.
grandma, fucking my step
Mhm.
grandma. Like, and I love it. I love how I love perversity in adult film. I think, you know, it's a perfect place to explore and to learn about yourself. Not necessarily learn how to have sex, but learn about yourself and what gets you going and maybe thinking about why. But it becomes a little monotonous when it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that in the future, my opinion is that because there is this newfound autonomy and we have so many independent people doing independent projects, it's going to allow for a lot more diversity in what kind of porn we're seeing and who's in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
which in my mind is the ideal, you know, so we can really just come together as a whole, as a community, as a country, as the world, and just normalize the idea of, you know, people liking what they like.
Mhm.
And I see the pushback, you know, I try to not doom scroll, but it's fucking impossible on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I see, you know, with the coming political campaign that they're actively trying to illegalize and criminalize porn.
Mhm.
I think that window of acceptability, how it's constantly swinging, it's
Mhm.
going to eventually swing back, and we're going to have that sort of liberation again, and you
Yeah.
know, really be able to embrace the nuance and how everyone can like what they like, and it doesn't exactly mean that you're a deviant. It just means you like what you like.
Right. What about too, just in the way porn is like maybe distributed and, um,
Oh,
we
that
we
shit's
talk about this whole,
good golly, who fucking knows? I really
yeah,
wanted to have this put on a DVD, this scene, because of the novelty of it. I
yeah,
grew
okay.
up with VHSs, you know. My
Mhm.
parents grew up with fucking, you know, Betamax and all that fucking bullshit. But
Yeah.
I think that technology is always going to be changing, and in the past fucking 30 years, technology has changed such a crazy amount. There's no
Right.
fucking way that I would know what porn is going to look like distribution wise in the future. But I just love the idea. And this is also something I really wanted to do for the girls because I wanted all of them to feel that they were being treated like goddesses. You know,
Mhm.
I want all of them to feel that they are being prioritized. So I wanted them to have a physical something that they can hold in their hands, and all you got to do is go on Amazon and buy a $20
Yeah.
DVD player and you can watch it and you can
Yeah.
see yourself, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool to have like this little living piece of art, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And regardless as to how the long-term distribution of porn ends up, we'll always have this little piece of art that we can,
Yeah.
you know, enjoy.
Yeah. I've got to think at the end of the day that day, once everyone had left and you maybe sat down at night to have a drink or whatever, it was I bet you felt pretty damn good.
I get real misty these days. I have been going through my whole, you know, transcendental, like what's next sort of
Mhm.
phase of my life as we do every couple of years.
Mhm.
And yeah, at the end of that day, I just was so grateful, but so exhausted, and I couldn't get past my physical pain. I fell so many times because Tori's
During this,
really tall, and Jade's kind of tall, and I'm not so tall, and I wanted us to kind of be on the same height. So I wore these like 8-inch platform fucking shoes,
oh god.
which ironically were just about as tall as the ones Brittany was wearing casually. But I was doing a lot of walking down rocks and a lot of
Yeah.
rock climbing. I
Yeah.
fell so many times. I got a fucking abrasion on my boobie
Oh
that
no.
I'm gonna have to put some fucking
You gotta
hydroquinone or something on that because it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
you
I got
gonna be able to you have to take a few months off, a few weeks off because of that, or
Nope, went right back into it. I think I took like a week off and then I had a scene like almost
Mhm.
immediately after.
Yeah.
And it was a great one. It was with Pierce Paris, and it was the first time we've like gotten to work together one on one, and that one's
Mm-hmm.
going to be really fucking dope. So keep an eye out for that. That's a transensual production, if I'm not
Is
mistaken.
this a? I mean, what is this a one-time thing for you, Ariel? I mean, does this
Hell
inspired you
no.
to?
I'm
Yeah.
already writing scripts for 3 different projects that we have coming up next year. We're really excited. I'm all for giving a voice to those people who just want to say fuck you, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And because I feel like the best art comes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Passion creates great art, diamonds are made under a lot of pressure. So just do shit that I like and that I care about. And the 3 projects I have coming up next year that I have planned already, we're probably going to bust out before June, maybe
Mm-hmm.
March.
Wow.
And they're not of this scale, but they are all big, beautiful, thought provoking,
Mm-hmm.
narrative based, but still really focused on good, solid sex as well. Scenes that we're going to be ideally releasing VOD, DVD, and OnlyFans, all 3.
Wow. So
So,
to be able to release this on VOD, do you have your own production company now? Did you have to?
so I did establish myself as an independent entity, but we're working with the VOD company now in order to get it all situated. I have a lovely connect who is helping us along the way with that endeavor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not set in stone yet. Contracts haven't been signed, but it is
Yeah.
all in the works. It's all going to happen, and we are
Okay.
very excited about it.
Good. Well, Ariel, it's really impressive to watch you. I mean, a lot of times performers that grind like you do, after a couple years, they get burned out or they just kind of don't hear from them for a while. But your creative juices and your work ethic seems to continue to elevate. It's been a really cool thing to
I'm
observe.
lucky to work with a lot of really inspiring people, and they keep me driven
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking some time. I know everyone's going to be real excited about the scene that's coming out, and hopefully everyone will go watch it on your OnlyFans or one of the other performers, and eventually get that DVD as well.
Hell yeah!
All
I
right.
can't wait. Thank you so much
Take
for
care.
having me.